Hi, good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Me. I'm Susan B. Lochocki, running for President of the United States as a write-in, and this is my temporary kitchen. Welcome. Today it is Sanctuary Sunday, September 27th, and I want to welcome you. The prelude song was by John Lennon and Yoko Ono, and it's called Watching the Wheels. And that's a little bit, what we're doing, watching the wheels of the U.S. Churn and get back to what they were before. I'm not so sure that we're moving in the right direction. I kind of liked it better when we were going a little slower, but I am just me. Perhaps you guys like the fast-paced rat race we're heading back to, but I'm not so sure. So I'm watching the wheels go, and I'm hearing also a lot of you asking for justice, change, and all sorts of things. So I just want to remind us of the word revolution, what it means, and then we'll light a proverbial candle because I don't have matches still. But anyways, yeah, I guess revolution is in the air, still. And it can be peaceful. It doesn't have to be a violent revolution. And I think that's what we need to realize. It's time. We're going to be 250 years old. And it's time for some changes because we can't keep living with the same rules as before. And yeah, let me just read you a little bit, then we'll light the candle, or maybe we'll light the proverbial candle first. And maybe we'll do some a moment of silence for all the for all the tensions in the U.S. right now. So there, I lit the proverbial candle, and now let's have a moment of silence. And after that, we'll have some deep breathing, and then I'll get started. Okay, so, moment of silence. All right, so let's do our deep breathing. So it's breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And it's breathe in through the nose to the count of 4, hold your breath for the count of 4, and breathe out for the count of 4. Are you ready? All right. So it's out. And we do it 3 times. Ready? In. Out. And it's in. Out. I like all the birds we're hearing in the background, don't you? So, revolution. The action by a celestial body of going round in an orbit or an ecliptical course. Apparent movement of such a body around the Earth. The time taken by a celestial body to make a complete round in its orbit. The revolution. The rotation of a celestial body on its axis. The revolution. Completion of a course, as of years. A revolution. The period made by the regular succession of a measure of time or by a succession of similar events. Then a progressive motion of a body around an axis so that any line of the body parallel to the axis returns to its initial position while remaining parallel to the axis in transit, and usually at a constant distance from it. A rotation. A revolution. Motion of any figure about a center or an axis. And rotation. Then a second definition, and its subtleties are a sudden or radical or complete change. A fundamental change in political organization, especially the overthrow or renunciation of one's government or ruler and the substitution of another by the governed. Activity or movement designed to effect fundamental changes in a socio-economic situation. A fundamental change in the way of thinking about or visualizing something, a change of a paradigm. A changeover in use or preference, especially in technology. Revolution. So we have been calling for revolution for quite some time. And it's, we're hearing songs from the 60s, early 70s, where a lot of songs were dealing with, wanting to change the world, and somehow we got lost and never did the change. Or we started it but didn't finish it. So I have also I want to read as part of the Declaration of Independence to you, because I feel that we are talking about these points as well. And I think it is worthwhile for us to contemplate that this revolution doesn't have to be a violent one. It's one that needs to be, but it can be done peacefully. But the people are... So, our document, the Declaration of Independence from Congress, July 4th, 1776, said this in the introduction: the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitled them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. So the preamble goes, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evidences a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such a government and to provide new guards for their future security." Then I'll just read the beginning part of the indictment. Such has been the patient suffrage of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former system of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations. Oh, that's the same word I have problems with before. All having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let's facts be submitted to a candid world. So there we go. It is what the people are saying. We want change. We want to be heard. Pursuit of happiness for all, not for some. So now I'll read you something from my book, my favorite one, almost, or maybe it is. It's called I Am Only One by Edward Everett Hale. I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something I can do. So this is a something I can do. I can be president. I can lead us through this so that we stay united, but we get through it together. United for all. United for all, not for some. All right. I believe the great peace is coming, but we need to get through this tough revolution part. So let's listen a bit more, and make the necessary changes. Okay, the song of the day is Revolution by the Beatles, written by Lennon and McCartney, apparently. All right. So I wish you all strength and justness in your life, and pursuit of happiness and fairness. Have a good day.